Well, hello, beautiful artisans. Welcome to Echo Art with Carmella-T. If you are new to the program, we create with all recycled materials, fabrics, and supplies. And if you are coming back, thank you so much for coming back. And I love that some of the viewers are emailing me, sharing their pictures, their photos of their work, talking to me about it. If I can give you any advice or just praise even, I'm happy to do that. I mean, that's what we're here for, to inspire each other. So with that said, what I would love to do, first of all, I want to mention a couple things before we get moving on the projects. Because first I'm going to share with you the beginning of the next project we're going to be doing. And then today we're going to be just doing a little review of a earth-friendly, environmentally conscious fashion designer who is exquisite. So with that said, I want to share with you, look, this necklace that I'm wearing, this is a thrift shop necklace. This cost a couple of dollars. I love the magenta. I love the magenta vibe going there, tone, color. And I'm just going to show you the utility apron that we made together just recently. And there's the pocket, and this is so comfortable. It's just so comfortable. I just love it. It's so easy to put on. So why am I wearing a necklace, and I have my earrings and my hair a little bit? So I'm going to tell you, this is how I'm thinking, and I want to share with you other artisans out there like this. Sometimes when you are working on projects, and whether you're writing, or you're a sculptress, or a painter, or like us doing textile, whatever it is that you're doing, sometimes you get so into that, you get inundated with that, and you're working on it, that you forget little things like, you know, maybe putting a little necklace on, or a bracelet, or dress. Like, this isn't dressing up. I mean, these are my work clothes because I'm doing my artwork. But or getting your hair attended to. And I'm notorious for not getting my hair tended to. So as some of you know, that's one of my goals, is to get my hair done by a professional, just to get it kind of evened out, because it's wavy and curly and sometimes up, sometimes down, whatever. So that's a goal. And I gotta tell you, I came across recently, and some of you may have heard of this fashion icon. Her name is Iris Apfel. Iris Apfel, A-P-F-E-L. So check her out if you haven't heard of her. She has passed, but she passed, I think she was 102 years old. After watching a few clips on her, and I've watched clips on her before, and she has always absolutely inspired me. There's just no way around it. But after watching the last clip, I'm like, yeah, I'm putting on a necklace. This is just a very simplistic necklace. But we're going to cover her actually next. We are going to cover her. Maybe next week we'll cover her. She is, or was, absolutely amazing. And in this way, she scouted out thrift shops for a lot of her fashion. So that is something I totally believe in, right? As you know, on this channel, we focus on creating with recycled materials, fabrics, and supplies. So she would scout out thrift shops, and large necklaces, and large round glasses and sunglasses were kind of like her MO. Like, you know, you knew you were looking at Iris when you didn't even have to maybe see her. You just see the large necklace, and she just put together these outfits, and just so inspirational. And you know, I have a friend who is like that, and I encourage her to kind of share that. And so if I can get her on my channel at the holidays to share with you, she is the one. If you check out the Halloween video, this past Halloween video, it's not too far in the short videos, you'll see her. She's got like 2,000 views for the costume she put together. But you'll see me trying, because that's one of my goals for 2025, is to be more attentive to my hair, and maybe dress up a tiny little bit. So because the question is, do you wait until you feel like dressing up and tending to your hair, or do you just go ahead and tend to those things and then feel a little bit better? And I think it's both. I kind of want to wait and see what the result is, and it always feels better. So with that said, I want to share with you a couple things. The straps on this Boro Sashiko inspired utility apron that we did not too long ago is from the belt that went to this next project we're going to be working on. Now, I gotta tell you, I'm focusing on making another utility apron with Boro Sashiko independent stocking designs. Now, with that said, look, I cut these are the sleeves. I just want to show you. I cut the sleeves of this. So I'm going to get a lot of use out of this. I cut the sleeves, and I need to come around and focus on cutting them even better. Kind of cutting them. Let me turn them this way. I can turn them. Cutting them to the seam so they're nice and even. This one I might be able to show that. Yeah, because you can see a little bit. You see a little bit of the fabric coming up. So I kind of want to get closer a little bit to the seam. And now look, this is lovely material. I think it's 100% cotton. It's not saying what it is. I believe, oh, maybe here. This is 100% cotton. Look. 100% cotton. This is lovely. This is perfect. Now, with the utility aprons, as you know, and we're going to be focusing on beginning it and really starting the project, but just so you can get ready, the utility aprons, as you know, go from front to back. So the back is open and it's crisscross, right? So this, being a bathrobe, would typically go from the back around. Your arms would go through here. So I'm going to play around with this a little bit, because I could end up cutting it straight across here so we don't have the arms, or I kind of have an idea in the back of my mind to make a vest. So cut it a little bit longer from the arms, and I'm going to try it on. But look, I have a pocket. So I got to play around with this. But this is the creativity. This is, what kind of inspires that. It's like you start thinking and you're like, what would this look like? And now I have a little model. As you know, it's small though. It's not the size I want to. That's another goal of mine this year, is to get a model that is more closer to a adult size woman and man. So I want to get a model like that. Now, in the meantime, I'm using myself as a model, and I'm using that to kind of drape my fabrics on. Now, with that said, I have not chosen my fabrics yet that I'm going to be using for Boro Sashiko. So in the next video, I'll be showing you that, okay? We'll be focusing on that. Now we also, or I might say the next video after next, because we did have one more hat we were going to do this month with a Boro Sashiko little patch on, that I had made renditions of this years ago, just kind of slapping on a little denim piece that was Boro Sashiko. I'm going to share that with you, because we're going to also do a non-traditional way of tying and adorning that hat. So that will be the next video. And then this, if you want to prepare, because these will be close together, they're not going to be too far wet. So, it'll be in the next week. Get your some kind of a fabric, and if you want to size it, like this one, like kind of like a rectangle, and you just want it to go from front to back, make it like a 40 by 40. That's a good size, and you can cut down from there if it's too big. So with that, you want to have some lacy crochet thread. This thread, look at this. I gotta tell you, this like shocked me. It's thrift shop, but look, it says Ames. Does anybody remember that store, Ames? It was like a Walmart or Target. So this was Ames, and it's cotton. Okay, it's $2.27. Do you know how much these are now? Okay. These are not under $4.99. And they could be $6, $7.99, depending where you get them and how much thread you've got. So look, I got it at the thrift shop for 75 cents. Okay, and I have this one out too. So these are some lacy crochet threads. So you want to get those ready if you're going to come along with us on this particular project coming up, which is another. Now look, I'm saying it's another utility apron. I really do want it to be that, but I might get creative with the type of apron it is. But Boro Sashiko inspired? Absolutely. So with that, so these are wide-eyed needles. They're embroidery needles. That's your best bet. You don't want the eye to be too wide because it will make a hole right through your cotton fabric. So anyway, those are what you need. And if you can get these little scissors, a lot of times at the thrift shop, you'll find them there. You'll find scissors at the thrift shop. So if you want to get them new, you can search around. You'll probably find them for not too much. But these are little Pekin scissors, and then these are regular. So those are the things you'll need to be following us on this upcoming project. So with that said, I'm really excited to get to this. Oh, and you need your tape measure. I think this is the easiest tape measure to work with, instead of kind of the one popping out of the little tin box. Okay, so with that, as you know, this is how I want to begin this. I want to first talk about waist, just briefly, because this artist that we're about to talk about, this fashion designer, was inspired by the fact that there's so much waste, and specifically he names the waste in Kenya. Now the name of the fashion designer we are talking about today is and I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but it's Yuima, and I was saying Yumo, but it's Yuima Nakazato, and he's a Japanese fashion designer. But before we get into all of his work, so he was inspired because he had seen a lot of waste fabrics in Kenya. Now, so I looked up, I wanted to know what, like, I know the in our landfills here, in our landfills, we have like millions of, okay, in the United States, there's about 11.3 million tons of textile waste. It ends up in the landfill every year. This is equivalent to about 81.5 pounds of clothing thrown away by each person annually. Now, how does that much end up in the landfill? Some people, I had a neighbor maybe about 30 years ago. This is what she did. every time a season rolled over, she had garbage bags, literally, of her family's clothing that she went straight to the dumpster and put them in. I kid you not, they were brand new. They were beautiful clothing. I think that's when I really started dumpster diving. She just did it. She didn't realize there was, or even think about any type of alternative. This is what some people do. Now, I wanted to find out how much fabric waste was in Kenya, because Yuima Nakazato, this is what he was inspired. And according to recent reports, now this is an A1 overview. This is, artificial. This is kind of just a general report on the internet. But according to recent reports, Kenya receives a significant amount of textile waste, with the estimates suggesting that there's, get ready for this if you're not sitting, 458 million used clothing items out of 900 million reported annually are considered waste. So I wanted to find out, why on earth is all this waste brought over to Kenya? Okay, and according to, and again, this is just an A1 report, but according to available info, the primary source of fabric waste dumped in Kenya is international exporters of used clothing, mainly from Europe, the United States, and Canada, who often send large quantities of unsellable, damaged, or unsuitable clothing to Kenya, which ends up in the landfills like Dandora dump site due to poor waste management systems in the country. Additionally, local Kenyan garment manufacturers also contribute to the fabric waste. So I found this very, very interesting. I am diving a little deeper into researching, because I think we need to be very, very alert as to what's happening. In my book, which I have on the other side of the room, I wasn't going to reference it, but I probably will in the next video. But we talk about the landfill over in the western part of the United States, and just tons and tons and tons and acres of waste being dumped over there. So, and then, there is, of course, the great Pacific garbage patches, 5 of them floating in the ocean. The Great Pacific one is 620,000 square miles floating. And then there's multiple garbage patches floating, huge. So we do have a waste issue. So when I get all excited when we can make a wall piece, or we can make an apron, or we can make, we're going to get into making more. And I'm not a seamstress by any means. However, I do believe I want to step it up in the reflow, in the aspect and skills of reflow, and bring you along with me and step it up in the different things that we can make. So with that, because I know there's some people out there, and I had this viewer share with me this morning. He's super interested in learning Boro Sashiko. He watches my channel. That is, like I said, very inspirational, but it's also very, very important to encourage the young artists and the artisans out there, and I mean, people, you could be any age and you're jumping on board with Boro Sashiko, but when you are interested in it, or you find someone interested in it, you want to help them with the resources. So that's what I'm here for on this channel. Help you with inspiration and resources to learn Boro Sashiko. So with that said, I'm going to get rid of these informational pieces on waste, and we're going to take a look at the designer that I am absolutely wild about, and his name is Yuima Nakazato. So this is him, Yuima Nakazato. Okay, he's a Japanese fashion designer. Now, this site happens to be where he has his store. Now, look, this is his site. Look, this is his storefront, so to speak, on the internet. And we're going to look a little bit more. We're going to look at a specific article in a moment. But this is how he, if you go to his site, and it's his name, and I'll put it in the content for you. But if you go to the site, you'll see he has like couture collection, and I don't know if we're able to get into that without signing in. Yeah, you can't get into that, but you can go to his store, sign in, and take a look at his fashions there. So let's see. Okay, now this is what I wanted to share with you. This is an article, and it's by designartmagazine.com. This article was written March 2023. I'm sorry, March 16th, 2023. And the name of the article, we're just going to do the beginning of it. This is really long. There's many, many images, but I'm going to share the beginning of this with you. And what I want to share with you is the what is called DFT technique that this designer who is creating sustainable fashion is using. So I want to introduce you to this idea that's happening. So the name of the article title is Designer in Focus, Yuima Nakazato, Creating a Sustainable Fashion Future. Okay, that's the name of the article. Now, I wanted to kind of go through the fashion videos out there, but I have to be very, very careful with that. So this is probably the best way. So here he is again. This is Yuima Nakazato. And now we'll start highlighting the article. So at the beginning of it here, I'm going to read just the caption underneath his photo. It says, Japanese designer Yuima Nakazato has gained international recognition for his innovative approach to fashion and sustainability and his passion for the environment. In his fashion shows, I gotta tell you, you see it come alive. It's like you can see nature in his fashion shows. It's amazing. Anyway, called Inherit, his latest collection is inspired by the mountains of discarded clothing he witnessed in Kenya. So this is why I covered the facts about the amount of waste in Kenya, because he was inspired by this. In an exclusive interview, he discusses his pioneering design, philosophy, and vision for the future. Story is by Gian Marie Cilento, I'm sorry. It's Cilento, so in Italian that's Cilento. Reporting by Antonio Visconti. The photography is by Ellie Ionu and Nathan Jerry and Matthew Fisher. So that's because there's a lot in this article, but we're going to highlight it. So, Yuima Nakazato not only creates avant-garde designs, but he incorporates new technologies when he uses for his fashion collections to address environmental issues. When the designer traveled to Kenya, he wanted to see the waste situation, but to also understand how people live there by using only what they get from the land. So there's a documentary film directed by Tokyo-based Kusai Sakin about this trip. And I would love to look that up. And the creation of the Spring-Summer 2023-2024 collection and the designer's vision for the future of fashion. So, and then it talks a little bit about his approach. Nakazato's impressions of Kenya remain kaleidoscopic, where he felt both hope and despair throughout the visit. I mean, how can you not, right? Feel despair when you're seeing that much waste. And he was touched by seeing the handmade details of what the tribe's people wore and the intricate beaded jewelry they made themselves. What do I love about this article? You're going to guess it right off the bat. Just what my book covers is the fact that we are inspired by another culture and we are acknowledging it in our, as we talk about or present our creativity. We are like, and this is what he's doing. He's totally talking to us with absolute respect about Kenya's intricate beaded jewelry. But he was stunned by the enormous amount of garbage in the country. So he's kind of my book is called Recycle, Inspire, Create. I'm kind of talking about the same thing on a minute level. He's at a whole different level. So this is a quote by him. He says, "My journey began with coming face to face with a vast amount of leftover clothing." I need to take a sip of this coffee. So he says, by becoming face to face with a vast amount of leftover clothing and an experience that left me feeling completely overwhelmed. And it's overwhelming to even think. So he explains, and then another quote, "Gazing upon the mountains of discarded garments, I was tormented by a sense of despair. It was undeniably obvious that cheap and generic attire such as denim and t-shirts had become utterly universal. A simple yet fundamental question arose in my mind. Do we really need to make any more clothes?" Amen. Amen. This is exactly what I'm saying. You know, I envision, and I reference this, say this in my book, I envision, hubs where we can just bring clothing instead of going to the landfill. Bring it to a hub and have them start the recycle process. Guess what? Yuima Nakazato gives us what that technique is. Now I'm going to skip down because I can read and read and read this, but I just want to read these other few quotes, and then we'll go to the technique that he is now using. So the amount of unwanted disposed of clothing is almost beyond counting. Left untreated, these discarded garments are a shameful epitome of social issues we face today. Totally. I mean, it can't be said any better, right? It just can't be, because, and you can throw even more issues in there. You can say it's a political issue. Yes. You can say it's an environmental issue. You can say it's a social issue. You can say it's a financial issue. The fact that we have so much waste just piling. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. In the next video, I'm going to read a quote to you that I wrote about this, but I want to focus on Nakazato here. So as someone who is responsible for designing clothes, he says, I felt an urgent need to visit Kenya and witness the situation with my own eyes, said Nakazato. The designer's latest collection was presented during Paris Haute Couture week and was inspired by the trip to Kenya. Okay, so he goes on about that as inspiration. So see, he was inspired by something you could just look at and not feel anything about except like disgusted, seriously, turn around and walk away. And he was like, well, my God, what can I do to help with this situation? So let's see if I can skip down to, this is an absolutely beautiful article. He talks about at length about how inspired he is by Kenya's designs, cultural design. So he speaks about that. And so let's see if he describes, yeah, here we go. Now, the technique that he is describing here is called, the acronym is DFT. Okay, it stands for Dry Fiber Technology. So I want to cover these few paragraphs. The production of the Spring-Summer 2023 and 24 collection began with 150 kilograms of used clothing. Now wait till you see the fashion in a few minutes. It was brought back to Japan, because he's a Japanese fashion designer, from Africa. So as most of the clothes did not have proper labels, it was impossible to tell where they were from or what they were even made of. So this is a quote, "These sorts of clothes are generally very difficult to recycle, but with Seiko Epson's DFT, or dry fiber technology, we were able to convert them into new textiles for creating garments." I love it. This is a dream come true, to do this for our earth. This is a dream come true. It was almost, this is quote by Nakazato, it was almost as if we were rescuing clothes that had nowhere else to go. Unquote. This technology pulverizes old clothes and turns them into new materials. The designer has high hopes for the potential as a form of recycling in the fashion industry. And I'll just read the last paragraph on this. Quote, "DFT is really new, and we were introduced to it only recently, but our response was quick. We are the first to bring the technology to real clothing," he explains. "We are using Epson's digital textile printing, which reduces the amount of water and environmental impact while at the same time not impairing the expressive power of prints." I mean, there's a lot of technical stuff going on here, but this is the idea, is that they have found a way to recycle clothing and create new fabrics. That's amazing. So check this out. I'm going to show you some of the designs. Let's see. This one's kind of a distant, but then there's some close-ups. But let's start with this one. Right here. You can see how beautiful that is. Now, the pictures I have here in this article are larger, and then we're going to go to Google a few of his other designs. Get some close-ups here. Here we go. I mean, check this out. This is recycled. Look at that. Look at that. You see the green? I mean, this is, I can see shibori techniques in there. All the folds are shibori effect. the draping, the color, it's gorgeous. Now, he's also doing jewelry, but I'm not going to get into that today because that's lengthy. But we'll come back to his jewelry scents. Now, he has a little bit of it here. You'll see here. Again, he's very, very open. You see the jewelry on you see that? I'm not sure what that's made of right now, but it's also environmentally friendly. But you see the gathering and kind of the shibori. So that, I feel, is a mix of the historical cultural techniques of Boro Sashiko in his country. And then he's also inspired, he says, by the styles in Africa. I love it. So, these are recycled clothing, so check this one out. Look at that. He's an absolute genius in his designing. Now, let's see here. I mean, he's a genius. There's no doubt about it. Let's see here. I'm skipping some of these. You'll have to go to the article to get the full vibe, to get all the information. There's a lot of information in here. This is another, you can see almost a kimono, kind of a, you almost see a kimono style there, and then the necklace. I'm going to skip down a little bit because there's more. This is, wait till you see this. Wait till you see this. Look at that. Look at the draping, and again, a shibori effect, but it's just how he's designing. This is totally my style, right here. And I've made some drapey kind of what do you want to call, shawls, not skirts, but shawls like that, because I love that effect. And there's the necklace right there. You see the necklace, one of his necklaces, and you see the neutral kind of a beige. It's kind of a beige pink when you look at it close up. And look at kind of the chiffon-y, kind of chiffon. I don't know if this is chiffon or it's tulle. It kind of looks like tulle, but looks how he manipulates it, he designs it. These are all just the fact that he's creating these with recycled materials is so inspirational. It doesn't mean like inspirational necessarily in the way like, oh, I'm gonna go make what he's making, or I'm gonna do what he's doing, but inspirational in the way that there is, whatever you are doing, there is fabrics out there that are recycled. So you can create with your whatever you're doing, your designs, your fashion, with materials that are recycled. And here's another one. Look at the colors in that. It's kind of at a distance, but you see. Now, his latest fashion show, 24-25, if you look it up, you're going to see it's very, very shiny, metallics, I want to say. Now see here, this looks like a Buddhist, to me, this looks like a Buddhist style wrap. That's what that looks like to me. So he pulls from his own cultural heritage, and he's inspired by the culture in Africa, and he's bringing all of that together in his creativity. You can see it. And I'll show you this one last one, because this is beautifully large, and then I'm gonna try to turn it this way, but let me just turn it like this first. And I want you to see the bottom of that dress. Check that out. Look at that. Just look at that. I mean, that's just gorgeous. So I wanted to share this with you today, and I'm just going to give you a quick view here of if you do a Google. I just want to do a Google. I would just want to show you. Put his name in and just do a Google of images. Okay, look. He comes up, all of his fashions come up. Just take a few minutes to take a look, and just it will totally inspire you, because his coutures that he does, they're like walking sculptures. I mean, they're just, and the themes, if you get a chance to watch his fashion shows, he has environmental themes. And the 24-25 one is of the ocean. Oh, it's gorgeous. So anyway, with that, I hope that you were inspired today by Yuima Nakazato, and look him up. And with that, in the next video that I do, I'm going to go ahead, just for the crocheters' sake, because there's a few videos out there now with me in real time doing the crown of the hat crocheted and doing the rounding. So what I want to show you, I'm going to do the crown on my own, like, you know, off camera. I'm going to do a couple of the techniques I'm going to use to show you, and then I'm going to show you when we do the rounds. I'll show you together with you. I want to show you a tying effect that I do, super simple but totally non-traditional, and I want to show you how to do a cable effect and Carmella's cable. It's not Carmella's cable, but you know, it's just a super easy way to do it. So anyway, with that, and then the video after that will be our Boro Sashiko apron, inspired Boro Sashiko inspired apron. So with that, I hope you have an absolutely beautiful day. Thank you for being with me. I send you love and light, and we'll see you in the next one.